Hello Year 2 and welcome to your third RE lesson this week. This week we are learning about places that are special to Christian people. In today's session we are going to learn about some of the special events that take place in a church. Yesterday you had a look at the virtual church and you were able to see some of the items that you could find in a church. In some of the special events that we are going to have a look at today, they may use some of these items. So let's just have a recap of some of the vocabulary, the special words that we learnt yesterday. So I'd like you to pause the video. Can you remember any of the special words that we learnt yesterday? Super. Okay, so yesterday we learnt the word bishop. Now a bishop, if you remember, was somebody who took care of a group of churches within the Church of England. We also talked about a priest, a vicar and a pastor. These were all people who lead church services and help the people that attend their church. We also talked about a congregation, and a congregation was the group of people who go to a church to celebrate their Christian faith together and to worship together. Now, I also asked you yesterday to think of any special events that you know or you've been to that take place in a church. So please pause the video now and just give yourself a moment to remember any of those special events that you thought of yesterday. Okay, so we're going to go through some of them together now. We won't be able to talk about all of them because there are lots and lots of special events that take place in a church within the Christian faith. Okay, so we're just going to talk about a few. I think one that you will have all remembered is the Nativity. Okay, now the Nativity, as you know, is the story of the birth of Jesus Christ, and it's very important to Christian people because Jesus is really important to Christian people. So in a church, there will often be a performance of the Nativity, usually done by children, just like you guys did. And this is really important to Christian people because it's a way that they can celebrate this really, really important occasion in the calendar of their faith. Some weddings also take place in churches, okay? Not all weddings. Weddings can take place in lots of different places, but sometimes they will take place in a church. And when a wedding takes place in a church, it's often because the two people who are getting married want to celebrate their marriage with God as well. Now, churches often have church services. These will usually take place on a Sunday, but they can take place on any day of the week. And during a church service, the priest or the pastor or the vicar, so that's the person here, I'm just colouring them in for you so you can see, will usually stand up at the front and they will share with the congregation, the people that have come to the church, they will share some stories from the Bible and some messages about the Christian faith. During church services, the congregation might sit in pews, like you saw on the virtual church. They might stand, like in the picture here, or there may be some chairs put out around the outside of where the pastor or the vicar or the priest is standing so that they can listen to the pastor or the priest or the vicar talk. Now, during these services, you will often see lots of different things happen. So during a service, Christian people will do some praying, okay, so they will say some prayers, and prayers are a way that Christian people can communicate with God. And you'll often see people's hands being put like this if they're praying. They might bow their heads down, and in some cases they will kneel, okay? You might also see during a church service, or hear rather, some singing. And this is a way that Christian people might choose to celebrate their faith and to worship God and to worship Jesus. Another thing that might happen during a church service is the giving of Holy Communion. Now, Holy Communion is how Christian people celebrate the story of Easter. And if you remember, the story of Easter in the Christian faith is where Jesus died on the cross. So Christian people celebrate this by having Holy Communion to remember that they believe that Jesus died for them. Now, another thing that happens in a church, or often will happen in churches, is people will be baptised. And this is how people join the Christian faith. So there's two videos for you to watch all about baptism. They're linked on the plan for you to have a look at. Tomorrow, you will be thinking about all of the things that you've learnt about the Christian faith. and you will be recording your learning. Now, you might choose to do this by making a PowerPoint presentation, like some of you did about tigers. You might make a video, you might make a poster. It's totally up to you how you record your learning. But we are all very excited to see them being sent into school. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Please work really hard on your recording job tomorrow, and I will see you very soon, Year 2. Bye.